What is going on, traders? Welcome back to the Traveling Trader. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for 50,000 subscribers. Our channel hit a new milestone today, and I have nobody to thank but all of you fine folks out there. So thank you so much for making this channel somewhat of a success, and I'm looking forward to continued success with you guys. All right, so I cannot believe it's September already. This is crazy. Time is flying, and the only good thing about that is that snowboarding season is coming up soon. But in this video, I wanted to discuss my top 6 stocks to buy for September 2020. This has become a rather popular series on this channel, and I'm always excited to do it every month. So without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, guys, here are my top 6 picks. Just a couple of caveats to this. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not your financial advisor. These are just to give you some ideas when buying stocks on your own. Also, I found that this format is better suited for mid to long-term holds and not really for swing trades because people will watch this video at various times. So trying to announce a swing trade on a pre-recorded video doesn't really make sense. So this will all be geared towards mid to long-term holds. Let us take a peek at some of the stocks from the last video I did for August 2020, see how they're doing, and then we will jump into the top 6 stocks to buy for September 2020. There will be timestamps in the description and chapters in the video. And if you get anything out of this video, give it a big fat thumbs up. One other thing, I will have a sweepstakes update at the end of the video, and I will be taking new comments for the sweepstakes for September. If you don't know, I pick a random comment and go all in. So stay tuned to the end of the video for that. All right, let's take a look at an update from the stocks that we had from August. McDonald's, since our entry after the video, is up 10%. ATVI, which is Activision, is rather unchanged from when we entered, so almost 0% gain or loss. AbbVie is down 3%. Palladium is up 9%. Kirkland Gold is up around 2%. Netflix is up right now. It's up almost 14%. Apple, obviously, this is the big one. It's split after the video was made. It's up 31%. Microsoft is up almost 11%. Disney is up 15%, and those make up most of the stocks from the last video. So definitely a successful month of August. And if you want access to the trade alerts where I send out all of my swing trades, my options, obviously these plays here, link is in the description. All right, stock number 1 on my list for stocks to buy for September is Rocket. Rocket Companies is the parent company of Rocket Mortgage, which you guys might be familiar with. We ended up re-entering Rocket after the IPO, and currently today it's up 5%, but it's up close to $30. Now, here are the reasons that I'm bullish on Rocket. Rocket is a private company that's been around for decades, since the 80s. It's highly profitable, it has good revenues, and it is the largest mortgage originator in the United States. Now, being the largest mortgage originator, it currently has 9.2% of the market share, but it's a massive $2.2 trillion market, so the company has a lot of room to grow. As I said, it's extremely profitable. Here's its net income over the last 3 years: 771 million, 613 million, 894 million. This is pure income. Obviously, the revenues are in the billions, and its revenue growth last year was 21%. But here's what I'm precisely looking at. Because it's an IPO, we don't really know how it should be priced. But if we take a look at its biggest competitor, which is LendingTree, LendingTree has a price earnings ratio of 132.59 and a price to sales ratio of 3.92. That means that its price divided by its earnings is 132. So it's trading at 132 times earnings, and its price to sales ratio is its price divided by its sales per share, which is at 3.92. If we take a look at Rocket Mortgage, obviously it hasn't been around for a long time publicly, but privately it has. Its current price to sales ratio is 0.62, which is 3 times less than its biggest competitor, LendingTree, and LendingTree doesn't have anywhere near the market share that Rocket does. Now, some analysts, based on their price models, put the value of Rocket somewhere between $30 and $40, and its earnings are coming up September 2nd, which is this week. So I'm definitely bullish on Rocket for the midterm as well as the long term. And if you take a look at LendingTree's price, it currently trades at wrong tree. If we take a look at LendingTree's price, it's currently trading at $312. Now, obviously, this is relative to the number of shares they have, but still. All right, stock number 2, Fastly. Fastly is one that we swing trade in and out. and also trade options on. Again, if you want access to the trade alerts, link is in the description. Currently on our latest swing, up around 11% on FSLY, but FSLY is forming this double bottom here, which is a bullish signal. It could easily get back to its 116 level price point in the midterm. Now, not only is this a growing cloud-based company, which is one of the hottest sectors in the market right now, but a majority of its business, its largest customer is TikTok. Now, if TikTok actually gets acquired by an American company, whether that is Microsoft, Walmart, Oracle, or some combination thereof, then expect FSLY's stock price to boom. The reason that its stock price took a dip here back in early August is because of the uncertainty with TikTok that the current administration is mulling over. They've talked about banning TikTok, etc. But if TikTok wants to remain in business in the US, it will likely have to accept being acquired by an American company. Everyone, including myself, thinks that's the likeliest case. Obviously, we're not fortune tellers, but part of the reason for this play, at least in the short term, is speculation. However, FSLY's customer base is growing every day. So regardless of whether TikTok or not goes through, I think for the long term, FSLY is definitely a stock that belongs above $100. My third stock on the list is Intel. Intel is a blue chip company that suffered a major crash and is currently at around the same support level that it always finds itself at after crashing. So between the low 40s and the high 40s, which is where Intel is currently, and it is a steal at these prices. Obviously, it is overshadowed by sexier processor companies like Nvidia and AMD, but it has been a stalwart in the CPU game for a very long time, and I'm happy to pick up cheap Intel, just like I'm happy to pick up cheap any blue chip tech stock whenever I can. And I'm much more comfortable buying in the crashes than I am when something has rallied. We're already up about 5% on Intel from when I sent it in the trade alerts. All right, stock number 4 is the Snowflake IPO. This one is not out yet, but I will definitely be buying this IPO when it comes out for a few reasons. One, obviously the sector that it's in, it is a cloud data platform, which is a sector that is impervious to the pandemic and one that is actually thriving during the pandemic. I mean, look at stocks like CrowdStrike, which we have a pretty big position in. I sent this out in the alerts as well, currently up around 35% on CrowdStrike. You look at companies like Zoom, it's not a cloud-based data platform, but it is a stock that is impervious to the pandemic. We bought this before earnings were reported after the bell. I ended up selling it after hours, sold it a bit too soon because it is up 40% now. But the other reason that I'm going to be buying Snowflake is because of the trend that we are seeing with IPOs in this current market state. So whether we're talking about Rocket, whether we're talking about RPRX, whether we are talking about XPEV, you tend to see 2 to 3 days of massive growth before a drop off and then an opportunity to re-enter. Now, if you take a look at its financials and its growth, it's not currently making money in terms of a profit, but you expect that from smaller companies that have a lot of growth. I mean, Tesla just reported its first year in profit in 2019. That's part of the reason why these companies go public, so they can get funding for their future operations. But its revenue grew 121% last quarter. It has an exceptionally high revenue retention rate of 158%, and it is currently aggressively investing for growth. It raised money at a $12.4 billion valuation, and if we're just going off of that and we're thinking long term, then a major cloud-based platform player in the future, $12 billion seems like peanuts. So if you imagine that this company can be worth $100 billion, imagine what that's going to do to its stock price in the long term. So I'm very bullish on an IPO like Snow for the years to come. And I just realized that I'm wearing a green shirt, which isn't gelling well with the green screen in the background. Different shade of green, so you could still see it, but it looks like I'm wearing TV static all over my shirt. Good job. Good job. All right, stock number 5 of my top 6 stock picks for September 2020 has to do with MJ. I can't say the name. I can say cannabis, but I think if I say the other name, the MJ name, I might get some sort of strike or something on YouTube. But there are rumblings that the government is going to try to pass a federal legalization bill, either in the current administration or if there is a change of guard, maybe the next administration. But either way, everyone can see the writings on the wall. At some point, cannabis will be federally legal in the US. Now, I actually have a bunch of call options on cannabis-based stocks, but there are really 2 stocks in the sector that I'm looking at. MJ, which is a cannabis-based ETF, It's just an ETF that contains a lot of cannabis-based companies that you know well, like Tilray, ACB, etc. Because of this stagnation and this low volatility, you can actually buy really cheap call options on this. But aside from options, this is definitely worth holding in my opinion. The other cannabis-based stock is actually a SPAC, SPAC, which is a blank check company. We've all seen this with Virgin Galactic, DraftKings, Tortoise. This is really just the new way of IPOing companies for some reason, but it's basically a blank check company that's public that then ends up buying a company that's private, and then that private company goes public. And it's been all the rage in 2020. Almost all high-profile SPACs have seen insane rallies. So there is a SPAC that is looking to close a deal, an acquisition deal with Cleverleaf, which is a cannabis company, and the SPAC is currently trading at around $10. The deal is slated to be done in the fourth quarter of this year, and if you combine that with the possibility of legalization, or even if they're just talking about legalizing, then this could be a good long-term investment. This is George Schultz's SPAC, by the way. The ticker symbol is SAMA, S-A-M-A. All right, last on the list, number 6 top stocks to buy. I talked about this before in videos, but if you're looking at the S&P 500 and the stock market in general, and you think that it's been overextended, I mean, obviously you would be right. We're making, all-time highs, which we predicted. But what is driving this? Well, most of what's driving this is actually technology. So you can isolate the S&P 500 by its sectors. XLK is the tech sector. And the tech sector is almost 22% above all-time highs. So this is just the technology section of the S&P 500. But if you take a look at something like the utilities portion of the S&P 500, you'll see that we're still well below the drop-off from the March crash. And if you take a look at the energy sector, you'll see that we are 70% away from where we were before the crash. So for those of you that are looking for recovery gains and think that you missed the boat on technology, there is still a lot of recovery to be done in the markets in these sectors. And these sectors are literally buy and hold plays. Again, these aren't swing trades. This is just buy and hold plays for the very long term. Anyway, that is it for this video. Again, if you want access to the trade alerts, link is in the description, where I sent out my Apple plays, Tesla, all of the stocks that I talked about virtually. But I also send out my lucrative option plays. We're currently up 70% on a Walmart option that we opened just yesterday. But yeah, link is in the description. Leave a thumbs up if you got anything out of this video. And before I forget, here is my Webull account. And the comment that I picked last time, the person said, invest in KL, which is Kirkland Gold. He is currently up 2% on his investment, so I owe him around $20. His name was Krill. That is the comment that I picked. Of course, I'm sure he's kicking himself for not picking Tesla or Apple, but money's money, and he made $20 out of it. So again, leave it down below. Actually, you know what? Let me sell this and lock in his profit, as his profit is dwindling away while I'm doing this video. All right, cool. His order has been filled. $20 is what I owe you. But if he had picked Tesla or Apple or whatever, I would give him those profits as well. So leave it in the comment section below, and I will do an update in the next video, and we'll pick the comment live, and I will go all in with whatever play you want me to go in with if I pick your comment. It could be an options trade or a stock trade. So leave it in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Stay safe out there, traders. Peace.